Hi, Sayeed.
Oh,
So we are again here with you all on YouTube Live, and it has been amazing, to come on YouTube Live every week, Friday 7 p.m. And today we have with us Coach Saeed, who is your growth coach. Coach Saeed has been associated with you know with many industries, and starting from a marketing manager, he has worked. He has reached to become the country head of the organizations, and he has helped people uh, to attain the same growth, being a growth coach since last 4 years. And today we are going to discuss about midlife crisis in professional life. So, Said, uh, I remember when I was working with pharmaceutical industry,
hmm
and there was something which you know which made me feel bored, which made me feel demotivated. I could not associate with the hierarchy in the organization that I was working in. I was not motivated to see the kind of life my supervisor or any manager were living. And uh, the work which I was doing for so many years, it looked mundane. It looked as if it is not aligned with what I am as a person inside. And so I'm not sure what it was, but I was not feeling well inside about the work I was doing. So is it midlife crisis, or if it is not, what it is? And I want to understand from you what midlife crisis is.
thank you, question. I think you started with the bank, and it's a very tricky thing, and you have put it right. See, what you were feeling is definitely your values are not met, right? So there is a kind of struggle inside you with the very identity itself. Okay, what I want to do, and what am I doing here? Okay, the same thing if it is happening when you are in 20s, when you are in 30s. Okay, it has to do with your career. You're feeling stuck in your career. Okay, you can fix it. It is not a crisis yet. It is not a crisis yet because the time is on your side. The time is on your side. Whereas the midlife crisis that we're talking about is this happens to professionals mostly when they are between 45 to 60. Okay, above 45, because this is the age when you reach there. They may be feeling the same thing that you're saying, or more than that. Okay, uh, kind of emotional, psychologically upset of, it's a kind of unfulfillment. It's a kind of, it's characterized as a sense of loss of identity, loss of feeling of inadequacy. Okay, but then the problem here is, now he realized that what he's doing is not aligned with his values, not aligned with why he started this journey in the first place. Okay, and yet there's nothing much he can do, or it's very hard for him to do, because the time, the age is not on his side. Okay, now it's a crisis because he want to change that desperately from inside, but there's not much possibility there. So he need to be doing something something dramatic. He need to be very bold about it. Okay, uh, that's pretty much the difference between what an young person will feel in an organization being frustrated. Like I can share my own experience here. We were in a meeting, and I almost finalized the deal with my client, and it was a big deal. And now the question is of payments. All right. So any high amount has to go through LCs. Okay. But what happens is, in organizations, nobody, no company want to put all your money at one place at one time. Like, for example, if you're talking about a 90 million deal, Nobody want to open a 90 million LC at one stage, because you're not taking 90 million worth of material at one stage. You're taking it over a period of maybe 6 months, 4 months. So there is something called revolving LC. That okay, that's the thing is there. So that's the that's the kind of arrangement I was okay with my client, because it makes sense. He did not put all money at once. He need to give me some money so that I can start production. Then, as I execute, I can some amount I'll keep it as a deposit and some I'll give. But there was this finance head. He was from a different country though. A huge person, more than 6 feet, bulky, very loud voice. He comes into the meeting right from the board go, everything is negative. Says, no, I can't accept this. This is not going to happen. And what happens if he runs away? All this blah, 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 blah. So I was kind of frustrated because I know that customer for a long time. We have done a lot of business with them. Okay. So after the meeting, I was just sitting in the same chair and I was thinking about it. Then there was one guy from LC department. He came to me, he tapped me back and said, Sayeed, why are you wasting your time here? So that's the thing. That's the time I realized that, yes, why am I wasting my time here? I need not be here. I can change. I can go to some other place. So, okay. So I was also feeling frustrated at the stage, but there was not a crisis yet because time was with me. I could change. I could go to a better company. I could do better for myself. But if the same thing had happened to me when I'm in, let's say, I'm in my 50s, change would not be so easy. So that's a crisis now, because that's a crisis more because you have a professionally stuck at one place. At the same time, you maybe your responsibilities on the personal side have grown and they are over you. You are not able to meet those responsibilities. At the same time, you are not able to change your situation for a better one. That's the crisis.
So thank you for answering that, Saeed. And uh, when I was thinking about myself, I never had this issue of thinking about that I'm aging, or my age is not there with me, or I lack. I have some lack of numbers in years now. Still, so generally people connect midlife crisis with the year 40, that you have crossed 40 and now midlife, you have reached the midlife crisis, and whatever problem you are facing, you had problems earlier also, you had challenges earlier also, right? But now everything is connected to midlife crisis. So has it something to do with the belief people have put into this number 40?
Yeah, definitely there is. As I said, it's a psychological issue. Definitely, it has a psychological issue. Like for example, uh, you start to go bald. Okay, what happens is like one day Anupam Kher was explaining it in a very, very, very nice manner. He said, I started seeing hair in my comb. Okay. Then I started seeing it in my hankies, in my towels. Okay. So now I become paranoid about seeing hair. Okay. And I see it everywhere after some time. And this is what psychologically you're cooking up yourself about it. Okay. And it is haunting you. So this age is also like that. When you are around 45, you start to feel old. Or am I becoming old? Okay. I remember once my brother was asking me, we just came out of a theater, and he looked at me and said, am I looking old? I said, what happened to you? Why are you even asking me this question? No, you say I'm approaching 60 and am I looking old? So, so this is what happens to every man at least, and even a woman. Okay, so that psychologically is there. But apart from that,
Women,
the
I feel it
reality,
happens very early, even
yeah,
earlier.
yeah. But the reality for men is that men have more responsibilities. I mean, women also are more equally sharing things these days, but men have a burden of responsibility on them. Okay, so if he is around 45, which means most likely he's married, he's got kids, and that kids must be going to school or colleges or something like that. Or if they are really grown up, there are marriages to be done if he has girls. So this is all needs a financial commitment. It needs a financial uh, inflow. And what he is making is not meeting those demands. Then it's a, then that crisis, whatever it is we're talking about, it's beyond psychological issue now. It's definitely for his age, he's feeling that way. But that itself is not the thing. There are other things hurting him now. There are demands which he's not able to meet. There are things that he sees that they're coming, but he know that he's not prepared for it. Like a person who's having a daughter, okay, and he knew that he has to get her married, and there's expenses coming up, and he's doing something which is not making enough money to meet that. He knew that it is coming in a year or 2 years of time, but it's not happening. So now he's desperate. Now this is not the place. I want to change. I want a better one. But the change at the stage is not so easy because companies look for young talent. Companies look for something uh, available at lower cost, whereas an experienced person can be more expensive. So there are multiple things that contributes to for him to get stuck in that place. That's the thing. So what happens at the stage is that on one side you're feeling unfulfilled, on the other side don't have exit, or you're not able to find it easily. There is a struggle here, and of course, if the I mean, I knew one guy who always wanted to be run a newspaper, right? But he, when I was working in Gulf, he had come there for a few years so he can accumulate some money and go start his newspaper business. That few years became few decades. He could not go back because one commitment after other, one commitment after one problem after other. He could not realize his dream. So now he was, I think he was by the time he was 52, 53 years old. His idea of newspaper is there in his mind, but he don't have enough finances. He cannot go and start that. And what he's doing, he's not enjoying. So that's midlife crisis as well. He want to do that, yeah, but it was hard. It was not possible for him. So I don't know. I lost touch with him, but I hope he did it.
I'm sure he must have found something by now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So thank you for answering that, Saeed. Now, let's say we have understood what midlife crisis is, and you know, majority of the professionals, uh, they might be feeling it, especially when they are feeling stuck, because there is age on one hand and being stuck at one position. And now the burden has increased. Okay, the responsibilities are more, as you have explained. Now, so everything has accumulated and the pressure has built upon the person. Now, this is real life crisis. Okay, and it is happening right at the middle age. So that's why midlife crisis, right? So, how somebody can recognize if they are going through the midlife crisis, or is it just the normal challenging time they are facing, or is it because they are being stuck in some position? It is happening because of that. So how can one really recognize it very clearly?
See, the first thing is that I mean, when you go to work, when you start your work, you're usually enthusiastic about your work. Okay, every day you get up and you get ready and you are looking forward to that work. But if you have reached a stage where you are not enthusiastic about it anymore, you are just dragging your feet to the work. That's big warning sign that you are in that place. Then, if you have worked for a long time in the same place, in the same company, chances are that you are already burnt out. Okay, whatever you could do, you have done. Whatever you wanted to show to the management, your talent, your thing, you have done it, and yet you did not get the kind of recognition that you should get. You did not get the reward that you're supposed to get. You have tried every means, but it did not give anything. So you reach a stage where you feel you're burnt out, you're exhausted. You're working very hard, but you're not getting what you're in return what you're supposed to get. This is another sign. The other thing is that uh, you feel trapped in that position, that current role, whatever it is there. You badly want to get out of it, but you are unable to. Okay, and as I was saying earlier, a person can be passionate about something. Okay, every people have, somebody want to be writer, somebody want to be cartoonist, somebody want to be something, somebody want to be an actor. So there must be something you're passionate about, or you must be having some strong values, and whatever you're doing is not matching that, or in qual. I mean, when you started your work, maybe they were, but as you progress, maybe they went into two different directions. So now you feel your values are going this side and your work is going this side. So this is a very big warning sign that you are in a crisis, and you must you must do everything to get out of it. Yeah, because this all
So
will lead
here,
to failures.
yeah. So that's what I was coming to. What will happen if, you know this is, let's say somebody is at year 39 and somebody is at 40,
Hmm.
41, 45. So these
Hmm.
are just the numbers,
Yeah.
right? So they will just pass. Just challenges were there even before 35. Challenges will be there after 45 also. So
Hmm.
they will just pass. Why do we have to recognize it, and why do we have to do something about it at all?
Yeah. If you are not doing anything about it, that means you will stay stuck, right? You stay stuck. That means you are leading a life, an unmotivated life, a, a life that is actually, you desire to be somebody, you desire to be something, you desire to become somebody, which you are not able to, which you are not able to realize in that position and at that stage. Okay, uh, as you're saying that if you're young and you're talented and you feel unfulfilled, the chances are that you will leave and you'll find what you wanted to find because the time is on your side. But the person who's the why it is linked to number, why is linked to age, is that a person who's on the wrong side of 40, okay, so for him it is not as easy or as simple as it would be for somebody who's in his 20s or 30s, because the scenario is totally different. The acceptance is also totally different. The organizations, I mean, who want to hire people, for them also it's totally different. So just imagine if you're an employee, if you're an employer and you are getting the same talent, one is age 30 and one is age 50, whom would you take?
Of course, the younger one.
Yeah, that's why it's called. Yeah, that's why it
Yeah,
becomes a
I
crisis.
remember. Yeah, I remember once. There was a position in the company I was working in, and I was talking to my zonal manager, and there was a position uh, in our team. Okay, and so I recommended one person, and this person happened to be around 28 or 29, something, somewhere close to that. So my zonal manager said, "Ke after 25 the bones become water. ये हड्डियां पानी बन जाती हैं 25 के बाद, उसको क्यों लेना है?" मतलब I was shocked to hear that कि what kind of beliefs people have, and we are talking about, he himself was close to 50, right? And he was saying this, right?
And now
That
just imagine
bones become
if that
water.
is what is, now imagine if that is what is said about 28, what would somebody say about 48?
Exactly. So I can relate with that, what you just said. Now, what will happen if person just go through this crisis thinking that, okay, this is just my thought, and I have worked 20, 25 years, 30 years in this field already, in this job already. If I uh, quit and do something new now, I may I may not earn anything for we don't know how long, right?
Yeah,
Or I
yeah.
may put everything at risk, what I've accumulated or what I have till now. So isn't that a big risk, changing when they feel this midlife crisis?
Yeah, it's a big risk. The thing is that the consequence of not changing is that you stay unmotivated. You lose motivation in whatever you're doing. So you're disinterested, and after sometimes you will start to because either you move or not move, the world is moving, the world around you is moving, right? So you will start to compare yourself. Are he was working with me as a colleague, now where is he? He became general manager somewhere. Or my classmate was there, we started together and he went somewhere and I'm still here. Or your society, the people around you, your own relatives will start telling, "Arey, tum kahan ho, wo kahan hai?" This kind of comparison will start. Okay. Then you will be overwhelmed with the urge to change. You want to switch. Okay. That will be constantly nagging you. It will become internal pressure on you. And that will cause emotional exhaustion, right? Because it is continually in mentally running in your mind. So
So what are the consequences of this pressure? This
yeah, pressure is,
not taking an action and just going with the flow and doing whatever they are doing. What are the consequences?
I mean, from the emotional side, you feel exhausted, and you may question the very purpose for which you started, right? Like a person, he started his career, like I know many people in the Gulf who came there with the hope or with the purpose of giving a better life to their people back home. Okay, but after coming there, after working some time, they realize that even here they are not making enough money, or they are not doing what they thought they should do or what they thought they can do. Okay, that way it is not as rewarding as they thought it would be. So what happens now, the very purpose for which he came, he started all this journey, he's lost. So either he definitely change that, or he has to endure this loss of purpose. So you started a journey for some purpose. So when you don't achieve that, you feel loss of purpose, and that's the biggest drag. Okay, that's highly demotivating and that's highly depressing. So that can have a serious impact on person's well-being, and of course your career is already doomed if you're not taking action.
Yeah, I completely can relate with that because I had worked, for in the pharmaceutical industry for long, and this period around 40, people start getting lifestyle disorders, and somewhere, as you rightly said, that they start compromising their well-being. And since everything is accumulating inside, the pressure is building inside, it will come out through some way.
Somewhere.
It will, and some we still have to um, do more research. Is it related to the thoughts that people, there are researches available which connects person's well-being, their diseases, with the thoughts they have, right? So if a person has built up those emotions inside, it can culminate into um, serious disorders or diseases,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
So what do you recommend? People should do something about it, or just try to live with that,
No, they
with those
definitely.
emotions, with that feeling.
I mean, I'm an advocate of progress. I'm an advocate of growth. So people should do everything in their capacity, whatever they can do to grow. So if it requires change, change. Even if it requires a change of career, change. But you need to take a calculated risk. If you are changing means you should have sufficient enough buffer and do that, because you can't do it on somebody else's shoulders. And definitely when you are not earning, when you are not, the world doesn't need you, world doesn't want you, and those friends who are there around you, they will not be there with you. So you should be strong from within. You will be alone, and it's your fight. You have to take it forward, but you must fight.
Thank thank you for saying that, Saeed. And we have seen it all, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Uh, right,
You've
and very
seen it the hard
closely.
way, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So thank you for saying that. Now, I This is the last question that I want to ask from you is that what are the steps of overcoming this midlife crisis in professional life?
Yeah, I think first thing is we need to get rid of denial and acknowledge it, because mostly people are in denial mode. Uh, they don't want to accept that they are in that situation. So first acknowledge it. That the first step is to acknowledge. So uh, any crisis can be over. You can overcome any challenge. You can overcome, provided you recognize it and do what it requires to be done. Just if you're trying to push it under the carpet, it is not going to solve by itself. So first step is to you recognize that phase, that yes, it is true. Now that you have recognized it, you must be having some vision. You must have had some vision before, or if you don't have, try to visualize now what kind of future you want for yourself. This whatever you're doing is not satisfying. It is not giving you any joy, or uh, it is you're not motivated to the way you were motivated before to do that. So what is your vision? What is the future that you need? Visualize that. Create for yourself a future self of yourself. You see it and see it as clearly as you can. Write those things down. The third step is that uh, there must every human being has some values. Okay, and every human being is passionate about something or other. Okay, and try to recognize those values. Like in our coaching program, we have tools to identify the core values of every individual. So what happens is when you identify these values, now you can align whatever you want to do in future with those values. Okay. So identify your values and reflect on those values. What you're doing now, is it aligned with your values? If it is not, what can I do? What other things I can do that will align with this values? So if whatever you choose to do in future, if it is aligned with those values, the chances are that you'll be more successful, you'll be more happier and healthier. Okay. And success is not necessarily money itself. Okay. Success is not necessarily just being called a general manager or a country manager or VP. Success can be much more than that. Definitely is much more than that. So define your success clearly. What you really want in your life. Okay. So do that, and of course write it down much better. Once you have done these things, you can always start your life. There are many people who have started their life late and they have become somebody in life. So set new goals for yourself. Uh, in order to set new goals, maybe you need to learn new things. So be a lifelong learner, learn new things. It's never too late. It's never too late to start all over again. It's never too late to learn. Okay. So set new goals, try to learn new things. And in this process, you will lead people, all the things we can't do on our own. So you need a strong network. So join a mastermind like the one we have in our program, or there are professional networks. So join some, uh, create for yourself a support group or join support group where you can find like-minded people, where ideas are shared and where it will help you grow. Okay. And as we are talking about age, definitely health is an issue. Okay. God willing, you're doing good, but even to maintain that, to sustain that, you need to do something. So prioritize your health, both physical health as well as mental health. Okay, this is very very crucial, because this can have a serious impact on the very crisis that you're feeling. Okay, and your perspective about, as we were talking about, age is a number. You have certain perspective, change the perspective. Age definitely is a number. Okay, it doesn't, I mean, you don't have to tag it to somebody, or you don't have to pin it to something. Okay, change your perspective about your life, about your career, about things like that. If you have some beliefs which are not paying you, which are not doing any good to you, change those beliefs, change those perspectives, because perspective plays a lot of role in what you do in life. And one can reinvent oneself. at any stage. Like, for example, this actor Harrison Ford, he was just a carpenter. He was a carpenter. But around his, about, I think, nearly about late 30s, almost 40s, he decided to become an actor. And he becomes so famous actor. Same is with many actors, like Samuel Jackson also started his career, I think it was in the 40s. So reinvent yourself. Maybe there is a writer in you, maybe there is a singer in you, maybe there is some talent in you. Reinvent yourself. If this is not satisfying, if this is not giving you joy, if this is not giving you the money that you want, maybe there is something else that you can do. So try to reinvent yourself. So how do you reinvent yourself? Expose yourself. Expose yourself to things. Try to write. Try to do something. Try to do public speaking. Try things. So reinvent yourself. So with that, with those things, and one can one can come out of this midlife crisis. And yet sometimes maybe it is hard, and especially for some people, it may be more harder than others. So if you're finding it hard, it is never too wrong and it is never too late to ask for help. Talk to somebody. Maybe there is a college professor when you are studying who was a good supporter of you. Talk to them. Maybe there is a mentor that you trust. Talk to him. Maybe there is a relative in your known who's a really a well wisher for you. Talk to him. Or talk to your coach. Talk to somebody whom you trust and seek help. There's nothing wrong in help, because if that is what is taking you out of that dark hole, so be it. There's no shame in asking help. So ask help, seek help, and get out of it. Do everything, as I said, do everything in your capacity to get out of it, because it is not doing what it's supposed to do for you. Yeah.
That's really awesome, Saeed. And thank you for answering that in a stepwise approach so that people can actually apply it. And, people who feel that they are approaching this midlife, or they are already going through this midlife crisis, or they feel stuck somewhere around that age, you can connect with us, watch this video several times, and you will find the answer. The best thing about mind is, it's not the information that you may receive from outside. It is how your mind is going to process that information. So we don't know, when you are listening, watching this video, what your mind show, what way your mind will show to you, right?
Yeah.
So so keep learning, keep exploring things, and have a fantastic weekend. See you next Friday. Have a wonderful time.
Thank
Any
you, Arif.
last words that you want to share, Saeed?
Well, thank you, Arif. Thanks for the wonderful questions that you asked, and it was quite intriguing, and I hope that helped people. And yes, as I was saying, reinvent yourself. It is very much possible that people who have been doing one thing for a long time, they are actually good at something else. So it is good you do some mind mapping for yourself, and do some, inventory on the things that you can do, and that will help
Yeah.
you. And if you have any issues on that, yes, as Arif was saying, you can always feel free to talk to us. Yeah, and thanks for listening to us. And we are here next week. We'll be here again. So see you soon.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.